My wife was arrested 5 times, and she lost her brother in front of her. She shot 2 times, the worst one before, and she had, since November, she can't walk.
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to The Struggle. The Struggle is shown on over 30 cable stations from Vermont to New York City. On the internet at thestruggle.org. Our YouTube channel, Struggle Video Media. First, something absolutely routine. 2 Israeli soldiers beating a youth after they've grabbed him. Last week we showed the first part of the talk by Bassem Tamimi of the famed West Bank town of Nabi Saleh. His family is part of the leaders in the popular resistance. This is something that the Palestinians say is an alternative to the endless and fruitless talking of the peace process and an alternative to armed struggle. It's a third way to fight against the colonial occupation that has overwhelmed Palestine.
Our problem is not the direction of the wall or the wall itself or the settlement. The settlement or the wall or the checkpoint is the face of the problem. The problem is the colony project for the Zionists in our land. The occupation is a tool on the hands of the colony project to be built on our land. For that, we suffer this large problem. We want to focus on the occupation and the colony project in our land. And we believe that this resistance is not the act, it's a culture. We want to build a culture of resistance in our society, to make it a belief, not the act, just action. We decide to create a model. We decide to choose Nabi Saleh as a village. Why we choose Nabi Saleh? Nabi Saleh, small village, 600 persons. This means if 600 persons do something, this means that everyone can do. We have settlement, and everywhere there is a settlement. Not like a wall, it's just in some places. We have the high percentage of martyrs in Palestine. 22 person who was killed through the Israeli occupation, Lebanon, Palestine, and Jordan, from the village since the 1967 occupation. We have the high percentage of high education in Palestine. We have our experience of the culture of the resistance, because we involved in the resistance since the British occupation or the Turkish before. We have most of our youth had been in jail because their experience in the resistance. The founder of the first Intifada unified leadership is from our village. This means it's easy to convince the people by this way. Everyone is suffering. And also we have open mentality to have the women participate, because we believe real resistance mean women must be participated. We can't talk really about real resistance and keep silent half of our power, half of our society. Really, we believe that the role of the women is more important than men, because if we want to build the generation for liberty and grow our children to be our future, who will liberate and free Palestine, we must have a free woman, free generation, freedom. For that we go to Nabi Saleh to create a model. We start December 9, 2009 to make a relation with the first Intifada date, because our vision is the first Intifada. Since that date, I will give you some statistic number to put you on what's happening in Nabi Saleh. Nabi Saleh is 600 person. We own around 5,600 dunum. Dunum is 1,000 square meter. 3% of our land area B, 97% area C, 60% of our land in area C is controlled by the settlement. We have also 13 demolition order for houses located in area C. It's mean 80% of our houses are under demolition order. Maybe they will not demolish the houses, but they keep us under stress that in one day, some night, they will come and destroy our houses. They destroyed before 4 months one of these houses to keep the stress. It's owned by American citizen, and it's built before the occupation. And he have a Jordanian license for it. But it's the occupation law and the occupation mentality and occupation policy against us. Maybe they will not demolish my house is one of these houses. Maybe they will not demolish my house, but I can build another floor on the roof of my house for my 4 child. I can't use my land in area C. This means surely that my 4 son will be replaced to area B, A, or outside Palestine. This is a silent ethnic cleansing in area C. Just by this decision, they replace the Palestinian. Area C, 62% of the West Bank. There are just 80,000 Palestinian and 400,000 settlers, and hundreds or thousands of demolition order in this region, which named Area C. Area C is part of a 3 division of our land through Oslo Agreement. They divide the Palestinian land through 3 types of land under different laws, A, B, C. A, under the control of the Palestinian, and the security, it's coming through the Palestinian security, and B, under full control of security for the Israeli and civil services by the Palestinian Authority. Area C, full control by the Israeli. This means that they want to take Area C. This means Great Israel is existing now. The two-state solution destroyed. But I will return to Nabi Saleh. We start our resistance, marching the street, making conference, making our civil demonstration. You see how we march the street. We have 2 gates on the entrance of the village. The 2 gates, they built it, put it in the land 2001. 2001, 2004, it was immediately closed. From Ramallah to Nabi Saleh, it took you 20 minutes because it's 20 kilometers. One day I back from Ramallah to my village. This is the gate, and my house is 100 meters. They don't allow me to go. I must return to other way. It took me from 12 o'clock evening until 3 o'clock morning. A day. And it's a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money to reach my home, and was just 100 meters. We start our model, a lot of people participating, the women participate. They target the women since the second demonstration by shooting the women. They know that the women participant is a problem. By shooting them, they arrest them and they remove the head cover of the women. You know the culture of the Palestinian or the Arab culture. If you can't protect your wife or your daughter, you keep her side. But we know that they want us not allowing our women to participate. We will continue. Since that date, we have 2 martyrs, Rushdie and Mustafa. You see Rushdie how they kill him. And Mustafa, he opened the jeep and shot him in his face by a tear gas canister, which destroyed his brain. We have 190 prisoners. Now we have around 7 in the prison who are going to prison. Not all of these are from Nabi Saleh. Most of them are from Nabi Saleh, but a lot are from the other villages and who are participate in the action of Nabi Saleh. Nabi Saleh is not resisting just the villager or the resident of Nabi Saleh. A lot of people comes from outside. 90 of them children under 18, 9 under 15, 16 women who was arrested. We have more than 300 injured person. Around 50 of them had a continuous problem, some disability. The worst one is Ihab Barghouti. He is paralyzed and he has crazy sometimes on his, he can't do anything. Since last Ramadan, when they, not this Ramadan, the Ramadan before, when they attack Gaza, they use a new policy or a new strategy. They bring snipers with 22 millimeters bullets, and they start shooting the youth on their left leg, and it's cut the nerve for the foot, which make the foot paralyzed. 70% had the foot paralyzed. One of them he had burnout son. If you he had burnout. One in Nabi Saleh, just in Nabi Saleh, you have 22 person had shot in their legs. 3 women. My wife is one of them. She since last November can't walk. She walked on sticks. And the other woman is destroy the bone, and the other woman like that. We have 40% of the injured people are children. We have 7 houses partially burned. We have more than 400 olive trees are broken and destroyed or burned. We have a lot of dunums that a lot of times they destroy the fields, corn or wheat or what we plant. They try to burn the mosque 2 times, and they try to burn the house 2 times, and we are wake up. This is, we can protect our houses in that. But what will happen in the future, we don't know. The Wabshi family is burned and when they are sleeping. Maybe the demolition order is not just harm, make ethnic cleansing in Area C. It's also destroy the shape of the Palestinian village. Because of the demolition order, the extending of the village became very vertical, which means change the shape of the Palestinian village. Villages mean horizontally expand, houses, different houses. It's not a vertical extent. And this means the social relation will be impacted by this issue. For organizing and leading the demonstration, Nabi Saleh, they bring part of their policy, they target women, then they target the youth from the other villages. Third, they target the houses for the people who are not participating to make inside conflict by rubber bullet, tear gas, tanks, and the skunk water inside these houses. They close the village from all the direction, to not allowing anybody to come, and the other policies is to arrest the leader as they decide. They bring two child, 14 years old. They arrest him after midnight. They take them 24 hours without sleep, and 12 hours they are interrogate them and ask them, is Basim and Naji who organized the demonstration? They say yes. For this, yes. I had been in jail for 14 months for 45 days house arrested, and I paid 12,000 shekel as a fine. I refuse to accept the court, because the court for me is part of the component of the occupation. We can't search for a legitimacy or justice in the Israeli occupation court or legalistic system. It's not common sense. It's just a makeup for the occupation phase, to cheat the world that there is a legalistic system in the Israeli occupation system. Also, for that I refuse that. I have a speech. You can found it in the internet, in the Basim Tamimi speech in the court. You can find it, and I refuse to accept this court. We bring the media, we bring the consuls, we bring a lot of people to show the world that this is the occupation justice system. My wife was arrested 5 times, and she lost her brother in front of her. She shot 2 times, the worst one before, and she had, since November she can't walk. My son, the older one, is arrested when he was 14. My daughter tried to protect him, and everyone see the video. They shoot her hand because there was the second week there was no media, and she broke in hand. You see the last video for my family, how we protect our son. This is not push us to and bring heater in our heart. We believe of the Jesus advice, you must love your enemy. Why? Because we want to deal with our enemy by our not our emotion, by our mentality, to take our right. It's not to hate or love. It's our right. We're searching for our right. After we start our demonstration, I saw a small group of Israelis. This is my first time I had a relation with Israelis. I was shocked. And it was a hard decision for me to accept them in my house. But when I see them removing the occupation from their mentality, free their mentality from all the Zionist concept and ideas and belief, They win their humanity, they become our partner, our cousin. It's easy for me to accept anybody of them to have a floor on my house, to be my neighbor, but I can't accept the settler to take 2 centimeters. What's changed? It's thought. It's me that distinguish between human being just in thought. We must change our thought if we want to build a best future. We can suspect different result when we make the same experience. I am glad to have opportunity to talk with you. It's part of our struggle. Our weapon is the camera and our way to call our voice, to have your emotion with us. And I see that we succeed to have your emotion. But your emotion is not enough. We have a lot of tears because of tear gas. Your tears is very important for us. We need more than that. We need your emotion to be opinion and your opinion to be act. We must struggle together against the enemy of humanity. You can't be free if I lose my freedom. It's not a gift from you, it's your duty and your responsibility. We became the victim of the victim because the international community solved the result of the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish on our land and from our account. For that, we need you. We want your support. And we want your effort because America is who protects Israel. $10 million daily. And all the weapons and the tear gas we smoke it from your factories. You have a lot to do. BDS, everything you can do a lot. And this took me to that by non-violent resistance. It's an opportunity. You can't say that we can't do anything. Also, we are partner for the struggle for the humanity. From my belief, I believe that the capitalism is the problem. Israel is the guard for the interest of the capitalism. Israel is the greenhouse for planting and the extreme and terrorists all over the world. The military industry in your country need Israel for their interest. For that, you suffer like what I suffer. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I am ready to answer any questions.
30 or so Palestinians have been killed by Israelis in the last few weeks in what the corporate media almost always calls acts of retaliation. And no one has been charged in the gruesome burning to death murders of 3 of the Dawabsha family on July 31st. Please listen to an audio interview I did with an American woman in Jordan talking about protests in the West Bank and in Jordan. Go to our website and click on podcasts. Finally, there's been a discussion at Yale University on the question of whether one of their residential colleges should continue to bear the name of the 19th century's foremost defender of slavery that led to this demonstration.
What do we want? Change the name. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Change the name. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Change the name. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Change the name. When do we want it? Now. So for those of you guys who can hear us and are wondering why we're here, there's been a lot of quote-unquote conversation around the Yale campus and around New Haven about the name of Calhoun College at Yale. Calhoun College was named after a known slave owner, John Calhoun. He was not just a slave owner, he was an ardent, passionate passionate proponent of slavery throughout the United States. He spoke on the Senate floor saying not just that slavery was a good thing for states' rights, but that slavery was a great thing for America, that it was an important good in America. And this building, this enormous university that pumps out people who make decisions for this country every year, is named after somebody who said that. It's named after somebody who stood by that legacy. And as a result, this university is continuing to perpetuate that legacy. So we're here to say, change the name, change it now, but do more than that. Change your policy of gentrification, Yale. Change your police's harassment of people of color and poor people in New Haven.
So why did you come out today?
I'm opposed to white supremacy. I would like to dishonor Calhoun and honor someone who has been struggling against white supremacy, who was perhaps a contemporary in New Haven. I've heard of someone who was an abolitionist in New Haven and denied entry to Yale because of his race. So I think that brings up a number of the conflicts that are going on here and continue to go on until today.
For those who don't know who Calhoun was, what is the reason?
He was a theoretician of white supremacy in a lot of ways. He represented the most extreme Southern white supremacists around the time of right before the Civil War.
Come together.
That's our program for today. See you next week at this time. I'm Stanley Heller, and this is The Struggle.